So we are going to continue our conversation yesterday, which we started a topic on sexual harassment, assault, intimidation, and oppression by of women actually in our society. This emergence, this topic was because of the nursing mother who accused an influential man in her neighborhood of sexual harassment. It didn't stop there. She alleged that she was physically abused and assaulted helplessly. She was even asked or summoned by the police in the station to recant her story and say that she wasn't harassed. And there were videos of her being intimidated by the police. Since then, we have an update where the Commissioner of Police actually sacked the DPO, which is great news. We're also happy that the police officers who were involved have all been detained. And more importantly, the perpetrator himself has also been detained. This is good news, and it's important that when things like this happen, we highlight it and show, because Nigerians must begin to understand that it's not okay to sexually harass young girls or anybody at all. But we'll be speaking with the Commissioner of Police very soon, or the spokesperson of the police force, Benjamin Hundeyin, very soon, just to get additional update. But in the meantime, we'd like to hear your thoughts on this new update. You can call us on 081-270-53687, 091-390-7694. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. Ladies, we're talking about this because we raised the issue, people are talking about it, and then the police has responded. What are your thoughts on it?
Okay, I'm sure you people have done justice.
Well, it was a short time anyway.
Yeah,
so it was a
done
short
justice to the topic. But I like the fact that the people have been arrested. The culprits have been arrested. Somebody has been sacked on, account of what has happened. And
because I'm being corrected, it wasn't sacked. It was dismissed.
Dismissed. Yes. Okay.
So what? Because they can't sack. They can't sack. It's just a
what's the difference between dismiss and sack?
And you're out of office, so they can't sack you immediately.
So, immediately, okay.
Yeah, you cannot.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that's the question I'll be asking the PPRO, what it means when they say he has been relieved of his posting.
Yes.
So
he might be deployed elsewhere. Yeah. So that's the correction. He wasn't sacked, but
they need to explain to us exactly, because we want to see these people involved punished as a way to deter other people from doing this. We also need to start speaking up about the rights of every woman or man to her body and how he or she wants to use it. We're in a society where for a woman, if you're not married, you're seen as, I can do anything and get away with it.
This one was nursing mother. This girl was nursing mother.
So wait now, it starts from that level of, is she married?
Yes.
She's a single mother.
She's married. She's
married. She's married.
Yes.
Imagine, that's even more disrespectful, because you feel you're influential, you have the money, or maybe you think she's not doing okay. So right now, we need to emphasize that a woman or a man owns her body and has a right to say, I want this or I don't want this. And no is a full sentence. So but we must set example with these people who we have caught. At least when you start prosecuting for things like this, there will always be scapegoats, people who you will catch first, that will serve as lessons to others. And we must follow through. I don't want anybody to fall under the call of, okay, now he's influential. Can we step down? We have dismissed, we have made noise on social media. The lady also needs to push the case. If she needs to go to court,
I think the state are taking over for her.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
she must monitor to make sure that this person suffers for this.
So the sad part of the story was the police involvement. She did the right thing from when it happened to her to reporting and even making a video, to, bring people's attention to it. We were just really upset, really sad and disappointed how the police handled it. But we are also now encouraged by today's report that the police seem to have, there's a way they say it in Hausa, like, you've taken yourself back by doing that investigation and insisting that the criminal in this case is going to face charges and go to court. We're talking about how we were afraid that people will watch our video and never want to go to the police again. Yes. We're afraid that many young people, you're going to discourage so many victims. But now that the police has said this is what they have done, it gives us hope again. We're sure now that, okay, the police, when they talk about bad eggs, we can see that you have sifted the bad eggs from the good eggs. And I hope that she gets justice and he is made an example of for just many generations to come. Because when we don't make that exception, when we do not punish, we just allow for things like this to continue.
Exactly. But let me come to you. What if there was no video? In a situation like this where it's her word against his. We see that. I mean, I know Nigeria as a country, we're not there yet where somebody's testimony should suffice. It's just about, it's now she had a video. That's what is helping this case. Yeah. If there wasn't a video, lots of girls every day, they get harassed. I know somebody who did plastic surgery on her butt. And because her butt became bigger than usual, some people just thought it was good to touch. Wow. And she didn't find it funny because, so her butt is bigger, yes, it was her decision, it was her body. And they started touching her. She went out to the mall, or I think I was in mall or market, wherever she went to, and they were hitting her body. Wow. And she was thinking, okay, yes, I paid for it, and I proudly paid for it. It's mine, but you don't have the right to touch it. Yeah. She's just lamenting. But she doesn't have a video as evidence. So that kind of situation, how do we move forward?
No, but I think that we all know that the video have these are mobile phones have helped to strengthen justice system around the world. Many of the cases we see when Black Lives Matter is because there was a video to record the police brutality, and it's helped. Even the one-on-one with human beings, the police, having a phone has helped. Obviously, you cannot say a word against, your word cannot hold water against a policeman or against a powerful person. In Nigeria, the powerful people are able to escape when you don't have any tangible evidence. So the video is incontroversial, and I'm happy that we now have this tool that everybody has access to be able to prove their case better. I'm also happy that somebody recorded what happened in the police station. I really think that we also should applaud that person, and I hope that person doesn't get punished for doing that video, because that was what actually made this a case. Because when the girl did the first video, people supported her, and then she came outside and people felt like, oh, this girl is lying. This is how they just come outside and whip up sentiments, and people were bashing her until somebody released the video of what happened in between. And that video made us see that this is the real story. This is what happened in the police station. And there are cases like that. I've had someone said, I went to police with one case and then I left with another case. The case was turned against me. So maybe we should, to strengthen the institution of the police, we should have video recordings in the police station. Abroad, it's not perfect yet. They had to create something called body cam, because that way you can, the body cam can tell your own part of the story. So let us have, interrogation rooms should have cameras. In other countries, they do. Let the police station have cameras attached to a solar-powered cameras, so that at any point in time, nobody can say we jacked the police officer, or police officer harassed me into doing something. The police can also be defending themselves that way. And it will also checkmate internal corruption within the system when such structures...
They do have body cams, but obviously it's not, because I know that...
it's not prominent.
It's not across the country, because I know that one of our correspondents, Ivy Kanu, was telling me at some point that where she did witness that the police did have some body cams sometimes, but it's not everywhere across there. I'm not even sure if it was even Lagos State that provided, I'm not sure. But the point is, this is something we have in a society, and I'm really, really excited that the police took this up. They didn't see it as a case that was trivial, because many times they will feel like, oh, they've apologized to each other, just forgive him now. That's the usual thing we see, and I'm so happy that this girl is getting justice. But now, what happens after? So fine, the police has been redeployed or moved away. Who is following him? Who is ensuring that wherever he goes, he doesn't do the same thing? Those who are going under, the police officers involved, who are also being interrogated. How do we ensure they don't do this again? And then this young girl, how does she move on from this? Who's going to care for her, the post-traumatic self of this experience that this has caused her? Because now everybody knows how on social media, people will see her, oh, you're the girl that they, that's another issue why people don't try to come forward.
Yeah, but that's one. I think it shouldn't matter to her, right? We know that the way the society is, we are very good at shaming and blaming people. Some people will still bash her for going on with the case, for allowing somebody to be moved away. They will still have some consequences to her. But she should be of brave heart. She has done it. She has tried to defend herself, and this is all that there is. Anybody who brings any form of energy that she does not want, she should just do away with the person. She should also not focus on what she's going to be receiving from social media. If it's possible, she should just stay clean for a while till all of this is sorted, and people will forget. There's always this next big news that will come, and we move on to another thing. Why I don't like the dismissal, or I would like them to explain, or removal is that's not strong enough a deterrence, if you ask me. We should be hearing something like suspension without pay for a few months. You know, if this person is so high in ranking, this is the first time they are doing something like this, is not expected, but then they fall, you know, they will say, I'm a human being and I fell, we should apply mercy. But there should be a form of, when you remember that you did not earn salary for 6 months for this conduct, other people will be more afraid. Even you, wherever they send you to afterwards, will be afraid of doing the same thing, because you have lived with the dire consequences, no matter how it is. But to move you from, and you continue work as usual, just in a different place, doesn't do it for me.
We'll ask Benjamin Hundeyin what exactly dismissal means, so he'll define that to us. Yes.
Yeah, so for me, I was going to say that for many of the victims of sexual assault or sexual abuse, one of the things I've heard them say many times is, we are not really asking for much. We just want the perpetrator to acknowledge that they have done it, and just, you know, ask for forgiveness or apologize for what they did. And so for me, I feel the way that the police is handling it so far would give her that confidence to, you know, walk around. The thing that's happened with victims is the victim shaming. You are shamed because you are not believed, because they think you cooked up the story. But this, the way it's panning out so far, you know, she would be seen as even an example of what you can get if, you know, justice is carried out properly. So I don't think in her own case, but, you know, I don't know for her, I don't think in her own case that would be a problem. What I foresee to be a problem is the perpetrator himself. He is described to be quite influential in that community. And I'm hoping that he doesn't have people who feel that they need to do something to her, to make a point to her. And if the police, and I hope that the police is aware of that, and what sort of protection can she get? So that's what I was
going to mention that, because he's a spare parts dealer who's very influential. He might be part of an association, a group of people people love and respect him, revere him, and then his colleagues are thinking, you this small girl, see the wala you're going to cause will get. So she also needs protection. I'm told we have the PRO, Police Lagos Command.
Fantastic.
Benjamin Hundeyin will be on the phone. Good morning, sir. Are you there? Hello, sir. Okay, I'm told the connection is not right just yet. Someone was going to say something earlier. Talk about on this matter.
So, you know, one of the things that I love about Nigeria is that we honor wealthy people. It's part of our problems as well, because people that have money feel like you can buy justice, you know, you buy people, you pay for police, you pay for security, you pay to be the dawn of the environment. And that's part of our problem, because this man didn't personally have to beat up the girl. He just gave the order. So at the end of the day, he might escape that. He didn't know, they were just being loyal to him, and they were the ones that beat up the girl. People within the area feel, some people take it upon themselves like, we're defenders of this, our benefactor. And they might end up, and you know what Mariam said, that they might end up feeling like you have reported our benefactor, now our benefactor has been arrested, you will have no peace.
Deal with you.
You know, so the issue goes beyond, this is one case of how, when we don't strengthen our judiciary, or when we don't have a proper punitive system, these are the different heads, Hydra heads of the situation. So how do we prevent other parts of this? Is that when you go back to the core of it, no human being, because you're very rich, should be able to have what happened with Burna Boy a few years ago. Burna Boy was trying to toast somebody in the club. They said the person is already married. Burna Boy's security aide shot. There was a gunshot. Somebody got injured. It wasn't him that did the gunshot. It was somebody, is his aide. So we have these powerful men that have people around them who, in trying to protect them, can beat you, can push you, can harm you. Who do we now hold responsible? Do we hold the person that has the security men, or we hold the security men that they were being overzealous?
You see, I like, while we were talking, something just dropped in my mind, but let me take Hassan's call first. Good morning, Hassan. Are you there?
Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Please, you see, this problem is a problem. It's a national problem. Yeah. And it's about corruption. in the system. Corruption with the law enforcement, corruption with the society. Look, here in Lagos, it is better we say it now. Some people feel that because they are indigent in this Lagos, they can do and undo in their area. And you see them harassing women, doing whatsoever they like. And here at the same level, you see people because they think they have money. They have all these area boys around them. They can do and undo in this Lagos. It is time.
Thank you so much. I was saying that while you're speaking, I was remembering the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you know, where you know that it is pertaining to the psychology of people, what motivates people to do things.
Yeah.
And when you have that basic shelter, food, clothing, where there's somebody who provides it for you, that person gives you the motivation, because that person is where you fight and defend it. Same way the average American will fight for the American dream. They have no clue anything else. They don't want to know if they're living in one big mansion. They have the basics. They have a decent house. They can afford their car. They will say, I am American with passion. They say with confidence. It's the same desire. It's the same. The person who's providing. So that for us, we are loyal for life. So the same thing is when we are loyal to the state, we're loyal to our local government, we're loyal to the country. So we need to bring that to the larger society. How do politicians begin to get us to be loyal to them, not the dons, not the various guys, the rich guys?
How do politicians get us loyal to the government?
Let me let you take that in for a second while I take the PRO. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
Good morning.
Thank you very much for joining us. We wanted to just get some clarity. So we already have an idea the updates so far on this case in particular. But one of the things BC mentioned earlier that were confused is the article says, or the report said, that the DPO has been dismissed. Could you tell us what dismissal means?
Well, the word dismissal did not come from me. People just decided to use that. And what I said was that the DPO has been relieved of his posting.
Okay.
And that means it ceases to be the DPO of that division. And the new DPO will be posted there while he will be redeployed.
Okay.
Deployed to where, sir?
So we be redeployed to do the same things elsewhere.
Excuse me.
Did you get that?
Hello?
Would he be redeployed to do the same thing elsewhere?
To be deployed.
Right, as a DPO.
Sorry, say that again?
Would he be redeployed to be DPO elsewhere to do the same exact thing?
Same job.
Well, that's preemptive to say he would do the same exact thing, but he won't be redeployed as a DPO. He ceases to be a DPO for now. He will be redeployed elsewhere for another assignment, not that of a DPO.
Okay.
Okay, so let me even understand, in your investigations, I don't know how much of it you can tell us, in your investigation, was the DPO directly involved with what happened? Or this is just a punitive measure that you give to, like, the head of a station for maybe not keeping his eyes open when he should have?
No, this is because the DPO was privy to everything that happened. Okay. Everything happened under his direct supervision. So it's safe to say it was part of the whole thing.
Okay. So I wanted to ask if there's any plan for protection for the young lady in question, if there's any form of police protection, understanding how our society works and the fact that some people may decide to take it upon themselves to punish her for coming out.
Well, it is our mandate to protect life and property. So it's all about risk assessment. If it comes to light, if we come across the information that her life is at risk in whatever way, we are duty bound to protect her. So we are not ruling that out. And we are also open to getting complaints or information from her. The moment we can establish that life is in danger, definitely we will protect her.
Okay.
Her life will be in danger well, I won't say in danger. I would say her life would be complicated by not only the loyalists of the person who perpetrated, but also maybe those who are, who feel some sort of way about the DPO that has just been dismissed from, you know, that posting. So how do you even guarantee her safety from other police officers that may think she spoke too much?
Well, the answer I gave earlier still suffices, that the moment it's established that she's in danger, maybe from people or from even police officers, we'll do everything within our means to ensure that she's safe.
Okay.
And we mean that. We'll do everything.
Okay, so my question is a bit, I'm trying to dig into the foundation of what would have caused this. What would make a DPO sit and supervise this kind of intimidation take place to someone who is coming in as a victim to report a situation? And in my own personal analysis, which you can agree or contradict, this tends to happen when an influential person, we know police are being, a lot of police stations are being supported by private, successful individuals within the area. How do we get the police officers, the DPOs, the IPOs to separate justice, the process of implementing justice from a case of, I know this person. This person is the one that bought us this bus, that donated these toilets, that donated this one to us. How do we find that balance? What is the police doing to ensure that there is no favor to people that they have a relationship with?
Well, it's an individual thing here. This DPO compromised professionalism and
Okay, so
just hold on a bit.
Continue exactly what. Right. So we're having connection issues. We're trying to get him back.
Sons justice or
we didn't hear you,
does
sir.
anything unprofessional.
Lost you
Can you hear me?
We
We
lost
didn't hear you. We
Could
lost you for a
go
few
over
moments.
it
Start over, please.
Okay, I'm saying it's an individual thing. For this particular DPO, he decided to obtain justice and he has started paying for that. So it's not enough excuse that somebody donated something to the station and for that reason, we would look the other way when the person commits an offense. So in as much as we know that we don't have all the funding we require, and in as much as we welcome donation from people, it should not be at the expense of professionalism.
Right.
So anybody who does that will pay for it.
All right, Pierre, let me say that I personally am proud of the work you have done concerning this case. I think is worth highlighting, and I think is a good job. However, my concern is that there are other, I think there's a phrase for the desk that is in charge of this in every police station. Nima talks about it all the time. There's a particular desk in almost every station that is supposed to handle these kinds of cases. My question, therefore, is how well are they trained to receive complaints such as this? Because we have situations where when somebody brings a complaint, either they serve as counselors, they can say, what happened between your husband and your wife? What happened here? They try to be the ones giving their own personal experiences, not being professional. How equipped are they to handle a girl coming to accuse somebody of harassment? What exactly are they supposed to do to protect young people who approach them from cases like this?
Well, it's work in progress. They do training every now and then, and we have so many NGOs supporting this. I must particularly mention the British Council. They gather these officers and give them training every now and then. And on a daily basis, most of these officers do the right thing. But, you know, because it's the right thing, it's not newsworthy, we don't get it. And for the few ones who go against the norms.
So we had the PRO, unfortunately he had to leave because we had network issues. So I'm grateful we got the meat out of the conversation, which is the fact that the Commissioner of Police have taken up the matter. So the DPO have been redeployed elsewhere and the investigation is ongoing. That's good news, and I'm happy that that went that way. However, while we're having that conversation, I had raised the issue because somebody talked about big manism. You know, the fact that we have that. You know, this is a big man that has been able to build a bit of influence in his community and feels that, listen, what is it? Like, is it not police? We can pay the police. We can do this. Unfortunately, thank God, this case he's not able to do that. But we see that a lot in Nigeria. And then I went to why do we have big manism? Why are people loyal to these people, you know, who influence their economic development? You know, there's somebody who is there to help you. So, and that's how we went to the Maslow law of hierarchy, where people the basic needs are provided. And then we wanted to widen that conversation a bit, because the reason why we have many of these little clusters of lords, of dons. Why can't you mention a don recently also? Everybody is a don because you are able to provide things to people. And that's what we need as Nigeria, where we can be loyal to our nation instead of individuals. Bishop, you're going to add to that.
Yes, so the only way we can take this out, it may not be totally, but at least we'll get to a level of maybe 50-50 or 50-70, is if the government steps in and provides the basic needs and amenities for the large populace. Why there's a lot of struggle in that survival mode. Anybody who just gives you a cup of rice suddenly becomes your Lord and Savior. You would give your life for that person. Is because we're still scrambling at a level where there is no similitude of hope. The basic, simplest things, a lot of people are struggling to even get. The air that we breathe, safe, we will soon start paying for it if care is not taken. You go outside, in climes that have developed further than we are, you see that there's this sort of system that everybody seems equal. Seems. They may not be, but everybody is at a level. I gave an experience. I experienced a taxi driver in Singapore when I traveled. And the guy was so fulfilled doing his taxi driving job. He was full of smiles. He bought snacks for my son. Yes, this is somebody who is in his country doing his job. And he told me that he travels twice a year for vacation. He did not give me any of his dreams to become one big thing. He was comfortable the way he was doing his job, enjoying it, giving me examples of how the government has made it easy for them to do this and be in this space. So he's not at the survival level of we must kill ourselves to get the cup of rice. He's at a level, he's at a level where everything, government is doing what it needs to be done. Everything seems okay.
Let me pause you. Allow me to pause you. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Because I've spoken to some politicians who tell you that today I become a politician. For example, I have a budget of 100 million naira for my constituency, for example.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of, let me train the youth to empower them to be self-sufficient. They don't want that. Even if you invest that and do all that, do you know that the mother will still come tomorrow and say, please, my father died yesterday. I need money for this. It's like mentally, we need handouts. We don't need you to empower us, because sometimes we feel that we want them to empower because it sounds good. Empower young people so that they can all build these things. But guess what? Those young people, you empower them, they won't come back to you the next day, and they're asking you to pay for something else. Maybe they want to get married, they just had a child. A lot of people in our society, we want to be real with ourselves. What you're saying is right, though. I'm not saying it's wrong. But the reality is that where we are as a people, we prefer the handouts from the politicians, not empowerment. Some people say, I have empowered them, but they refuse to empower.
No, I disagree with you.
I'll let you disagree. It goes back to the other beggar. The man said that, I saw a video of a man who said that there was a woman that had triplets. They helped her, they raised money for her, got her a place, got the communities, got them governors involved, everybody gave her money. After they've done everything to this woman, someone went back on the road to go and beg.
That's a different mentality. Most Nigerians are not in that space. That's
really?
True. Yes, they are not.
So why
the people you see are people who, okay, for instance, that empowerment you're talking about, you empower them with some certain skills. There are no factories to deploy those skills. So they're back to square one. So it's not about gathering youths to say, come and learn this skill and come and learn that skill. Do they have factories to go back to? So use the resources that you have to put the factories in place. Use the resources that you have to make sure there's power supply. I can sit in my house and be selling Zobo, and I will not have any need to go and meet a politician to give me a handout. Fantastic. The problem is you have in your mind. So they sit down on the table and they come up with ideas, not being in tune with the needs of the people. So you give good incentives that are not in alignment with what your people need. Find what they need, put those things in place. Everybody will sort out themselves. They are very young, intelligent, hardworking young Nigerians that are tired of, they don't want that handout.
So I really agree with you. I know that the average Nigerian person, we're not talking about the few that went to school. Even those that went to school, they want to collect, give me the bag of rice, give me the Okada, give me that, give me something. So everybody is want to hold something. And if a politician, we have created big manism and not created institution. So people are loyal to a big man and to the institution. And the big men like it.
They love it.
So they love, because it gives them a feeling of relevance. So the average politician in Nigeria is so important as a person, more important than the state it governs. So you are a governor, but you are more relevant than the state. You are being reminded and remembered for the kidney transplants you paid for as a governor. Should you have to pay for kidney transplant as a governor? The system should have provided for good health care for everybody. I shouldn't have to come and meet you as House of Rep member to pay for a kidney transplant, because your job was to have pressured the government to create a system, not empower one big man and one big politician.
Thank you for a second, because I want us to have real conversations here. So when you now do that and you build this, when I went to Uyo, this beautiful edifice, hospital, at that time, in your mind, you've done something for the people.
They didn't do it for the people. That one, all of us know politicians don't build humongous facility for the people. They build it because if I don't do it, I cannot stop.
Project.
Yes, and I have to get to the point that this is the building I did. We are not really dealing with the
issues.
On that one, I agree. We are not dealing with the issues of the people at all.
Here is where I'm going. I mean, we're all speaking on the same page, and I think we're all saying the same thing in different ways. Now, the politician, for example, make all these big promises, right? And they build this big, in their own mind, they built it. Now, you ask them, where is the doctor that will serve in this hospital?
You know,
where are the nurses that will serve in this hospital? So I hear you. They're all just projects for just to say. However, I know of other politicians who try to train doctors, train nurses, train people. However, they prefer the handout because I have a limited budget.
A doctor preferring
I have a limited budget. That budget, I want you to create systems. But the people don't want that. They want you to pay for their father's birth, the father that died. Burials and ceremonies, wedding ceremonies, school fees, house rent. That's what Nigerians want. They want you, even though I feel like, yes, you've trained me you've sent me to school. But my father just died. I expect you to give me nothing less than $1 million.
If I don't give you what we have.
So it's part of the problem, the mentality that we have, that we need to begin to change as a people and also the government also. Yes, Mariam.
So that's the reality on ground. The truth is, you know, Tokwe and BC have said it all, really. I was just going to say that we have created our own system, and our own system is that we hand cash. We would rather give fish than, you know, teach people to fish. And, you know, when I used to hear that before, I'd be like, why is it not just easy to teach people to fish? It's because it involves a whole lot. It involves your time, effort. It's much easier to just hand you fish and wait for you to come back and collect. When you talk about people who, even when they get training, they still come back for the handouts, it's because you created a system like that. So you have people who are getting the training, but they also know that there's a system. If I know this person, if I move up the line a bit, if I call this person, I'll get a handout. If it wasn't there, would they, we will not apply that, we will not go that route. We'll go the route of going through a training or any other empowerment programs that that is provided. There's something that BC said that I find profound, which is you build all these things, you give people, you give them all this training, but you're doing it without any acknowledgement of the realities on ground. So you've built a hospital. Meanwhile, everybody here has not been able to finish secondary school because they could not even buy JAM forms and things like that. So where are you going to get these doctors and nurses? Then you say, oh, these people are lazy. I have to bring people from other states to do it. Because their governor has paid for JAM forms or has encouraged going to schooling by making sure there's food in, things like that, paying their parents' salaries on time, they're able to send their children to school. So these are the things. What are the actual problems in our communities? What do we need to do step by step first before we get to the big, elephant projects that we have? I know of a company that built schools for an administration that, that's passed. Beautiful, huge schools, but no students went there. It's not that there are children that are not out of school. There are, but you build them so far away from them. The children have to pay to get to those schools. By the time the schools open, because you are also keeping it for a certain time to commission it, it was run down before. So really, we are a selfish set of people, all of us, in one way or the other, and we can do better.
Let me take this call from Ajike. She's calling from Lekki. Good morning, Ajike. Sorry for keeping you.
Hello, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yes. I really commend all you ladies. I've been following you for years. It's
Thank
like
you.
a religion to me.
Thank you.
Now, I'm sorry. I've been calling during the time you were talking with the police.
yes.
Boss,
go ahead.
but I couldn't get through.
It's okay.
I just want to check in this. I live in between Aja and Ado. And I have discovered that the police, especially on Monday mornings, they will put out female officers, maybe like 8 at a time on that road, at an axis in which whoever is going out can never escape them. And they are there extorting money. I am retired. I don't go out every morning. But I have seen them on the very few Monday mornings at which I had to go to
Which
my
area
doctor.
exactly, Ma? So we are very specific in the feedback to the PRO. Which area is specific? Between Aja and Ado, but where exactly?
Between Aja and Ado roundabout.
Ado roundabout, okay.
Yes, in between Aja and Ado roundabout. They stationed themselves somewhere there. Anyway, the saddest part of it was that like 2 weeks ago, my niece was to catch a flight. And unfortunately, her sister that was carrying her to the airport forgot her driving license in her church bag the day before. But every other document was perfect. These people delayed them because they had a load of people packed off the road and they were exporting from one to the other. In short, she had to pay 30,000 after being delayed for a long time from that spot. She said they were all females that I have seen before, and yet her sister missed the flight to travel, which was very devastating. And that trip was very important. I have seen them, encountered them twice on a Monday morning, coming from my doctor, not well. They packed me off the road. They will threaten you in any form. I had to tell the lady that, you know what, I want to use the toilet, which was true. And I showed that all the papers were on the seat next to me.
All right. Thank you very much, madam. I think we've gotten the feedback, which we'll definitely pass on. I know it's wrong and it's illegal to drive without driver's license. I mean, because I know even abroad, when I was stopped, trust me, that whole day just messed up. You pay a serious fine. So we shouldn't be driving. And whenever I get to that situation, I beg. Me, I shouldn't be begging. I should follow this. But it's important for but it's important to note that we should always have that other soft copy in the car. It's important as evidence. But either way, you shouldn't delay the persons. Either you take them to the station.
And the ticket was paid into a private account, not into the personal account.
You either take them to the station, you follow them to the station, or you that are going to the plane and to the airport, you leave the driver, go take a taxi, and then let the person delay. So
it's faster for them to
take the notes road. I'm just saying that there are two sides of every story. Yes, there's a side of our own part and the side of the police. But she's right. Those people in that Aja and Ado roundabout must be accosted by the police. But the bottom line is that we need to have proper institutions so that Nigerians and people can be loyal to institutions and not individuals. That's really the crux of that conversation.